Hello and welcome to another episode of Animal Watch. Yes, I'm being licked as usual, aren't I? And today we're actually going to be talking a little bit of a serious topic about that viral video that has gone all over the internet showing the wolf keeper in Sweden kicking and pushing a wolf that is clearly latching onto a member of the public. Let's take a look at the clip.
David!
Right, now this is a serious piece of footage and fully deserving of a full analysis and a full breakdown, hence why I've got the clip here with me on my lap. Now, this has gone all over the internet, it's gone all over Facebook, it's been on Instagram, it's been on YouTube, and it's been had all sorts of comments on it, like the woman is an animal abuser, effing B. I won't say the actual word, you know what I'm talking about. That woman should be kicked and punched herself. And then of course you've got the other comments that have gone on the video as like, the woman knows exactly what she's doing, brilliant woman, well done for her. That could have been a very dangerous situation. So first of all, I'd like to look at the clip from start to finish. Now there's a full-length clip that's available for viewing where you can see the way the whole situation escalates from start to finish. So let's take a look at the longer clip.
Kolmården ska placera vargarna åt det också.
Ja, gör så.
Det blir aldrig någon paparazzi. Liksom det där.
Ja.
De andra säger
Spela.
Nej, det är bra.
David!
Now I'm going to break this clip down into parts so we can examine the body language of the humans involved and also the wolves in the wolf park, so we can get a better understanding of the way the situation escalated and whether the people in the video were acting in a correct manner. Okay, so let's have a look. Right, so the clip starts off okay with some soldiers petting some obviously tame wolves. The wolves are facing away, showing that they are comfortable with being touched. It's important to state that there are more wolf attacks on humans with tame wolves in wolf parks because they're confident enough to approach us. I just want to stress that this situation would never happen in nature because wolves are so timid, they simply would not come near us. So sometimes when you have tame wolves, when you have habituated wolves, you are running the risk of going into situations such as this. Okay, so now we see the main wolf moves and is approaching another man to the left of the screen. There's a wolf already there. This wolf growls, but submits to the approaching wolf and moves away. This signals that perhaps the approaching wolf is a dominant wolf to him, and he's giving way to him despite obviously not being very, very happy about it. The submission of the wolf that is leaving is being backed up because obviously we see him go into the background and we can see him being ganged up on by the other wolves in the park, showing that he is evidently a much lower ranking wolf. Wolves tell off lower ranking wolves when they feel that they have had attention not deservedly allocated to them. So in this instant, that lower ranking wolf was being petted by some of the people, and he's gone off into the background. He's been told off for having that attention. In other words, you're a lower ranking wolf, you should not be being petted right now. So let's have a look at some more of the clip. Right, the camera pans away onto the spat that is happening in the rear of the frame, but comes back when the person that's operating the camera can hear some intense growling, and we can see that the wolf in the foreground has latched onto the man's clothing and is tugging at it. There's a lot of growling. What is very important to mention here, which is not said in any of the clips that are circulating on the internet, is that the man actually had sweets in his pocket. And the wolf is after the food in the man's pocket and is not actually attacking the man. Now, this is very, very important to mention. It's very rare that wolves, even the brave captive wolves, will not readily do something like this. It's usually food orientated. Most wolf parks will always tell you, do not bring anything into parks in your pocket. In this instance, the man obviously did it. Nobody knew he had the sweets, and it's provoked a pretty bad situation. Right, so this is when it gets interesting. The female handler, we can see she's deciding to step in. She pushes the wolf hard away with her entire body weight. But we can see that the wolf does not want to submit to her, and it's growling, it's biting, it's gnashing, it's showing his teeth. And every time she pushes him down, he jumps back up again to get a dominant position on the woman. He's putting his feet on her shoulders. This is where she decides to kick the wolf a couple of times to show him that she means business. And this is where the criticism online is coming from. Not from the pushing, but from the kicking, which she is doing up into the wolf's stomach. Okay, so eventually the wolf submits and he runs off. The handler walks confidently towards him, and you can see she's trying to show him who's in charge. She's not a big woman. We can see that she's not very tall. She's having to use mind over matter, which is what wolves use with each other. Sometimes alphas are in fact smaller than some of the omegas in the pack. It's whether you're born to actually have that state of mind. So what she's doing here is letting the wolves think that she's pretty tough and she's pretty strong, when in fact, in reality, she could easily get killed by any of the wolves. It's important that the handler does this because wolves respect pack leadership. And if that wolf thought for one moment that that woman was weak, he could have easily had come back at her with fatal consequences. The wolf, you can see, is exhibiting some testing body languages because we can see he repeatedly circles round and he comes back again behind the woman, which means even though she's chasing him off, he looks to be a very confident and possibly dominant member of the pack, and he is sort of testing her by repeatedly coming up behind her. Now, we have broken this video down into sections and analysed it, and the one thing I hope you'll agree with me over is the fact that that was a very dangerous situation which could have escalated and could not have been left. If it had been left, then it could have been incredibly dangerous for that man, who evidently didn't know what he was doing at all with wolves. Right, we can see that the man is clearly not in control of the situation from his laughing and his inability to act. He's just standing there, he's letting the wolf pull his pocket, he's laughing, and you can see he hasn't got a clue on how to handle the situation. I think that's a positive thing, because if he had reacted in another manner, it could have brought all the other wolves in, and when one wolf starts getting excited, what it tends to do is it happens to rally the whole pack, and suddenly you've got an entire pack pulling on this one man. So keeping his composure in this situation is actually a very, very good thing. Okay, so let's talk about the kicking. This is where all the comments online are coming from. Should that woman have kicked the wolf, or should she have just used her body weight against the wolf? Well, first of all, I've spent some time in some wolf parks myself, and one thing that wolves do to human handlers as a way of testing is called bouncing, which is when they get up on their hind legs and they push very, very hard against a person to see how strong they are. I've been bounced, and the very, very first time I was bounced, when I wasn't very experienced with wolves, I fell flat on my face. I rolled down a hill. I wasn't expecting to be bounced. He decided he would test me. He jumped out of nowhere and splat, I was on the ground. Happy to say that we are actually very good friends now, myself and that wolf, so there was no consequences from that. When wolves test, it doesn't mean that they want to eat you. What they're trying to do is work out your pack status, so how strong you are and where you sit in the pack. So the woman is evidently taking her body weight and she is pushing against this wolf. This is showing the wolf that she is in control, that she is powerful, she is strong, she's dominant, and his behaviour is unacceptable. It's absolutely unacceptable in that situation. He should never be biting any people that come in there. Now, let's talk about the kicking. Me personally, I would not have kicked the wolf. However, I would like to ask any of you out there, how many times have you been in a situation where you have got a wolf gnashing and biting at your face? It's quite possible that woman was using her body weight, she was pushing as hard as she could, and because that wolf was not submitting, she was, in her mind, felt that then she needed to implement a couple of kicks. Not my choice, I don't like it. Perhaps if you were in that situation and you had an escalating, incredibly dangerous situation, you might have done the same. I don't know. Put your answers in the box below. What do you think? And also the other thing is, you know, amateur people that are not used to handling wolves, this might look very, very scary to you. So I would like to hear more from professional wolf handlers, professional wolf dog people, people that have worked in wolf parks. Even that wolf park in Sweden. If you're watching my blog right now and you'd like to comment, please feel free, drop me a line. You can privately email me, let me know your take on the situation, because I'd be really, really interested to hear about it. I have watched and rewatched the clip over and over again since somebody sent it to me the other week, so I could honestly evaluate it to the best of my ability, because I think it really, really deserves it. And one thing that's important to talk about is, yes, there have been fatalities in wolf parks. Very, very, very few. In fact, so few, you'll struggle to find them on Google. You'll struggle to find them. Wikipedia lists a handful of fatalities at wolf parks. This shows just how amazing wolves are. If you think about their power, and there's only been like a few fatalities over the years, they're pretty special animals. These are very, very rare circumstances. And I would say to people, please don't worry, wolves just generally don't kill people. But the woman at the wolf park obviously knew this was food aggravated, and food situations can become potentially dangerous. That is when fatalities normally occur, and she needed to act, and she sorted the situation out, whether you like the kicks or not. The man is safe, the wolf was chased off, and there were no fatalities at the end of the day. So why do wolves get so wound up around food? Well, if ever you see a wolf pack eating, you'll know why. You have alphas all the way down to Omega ranking right at the bottom of the pack, and they have an order that they feed in. It's very, very strongly the alpha, followed by the betas, and all the way through down to the lowest ranking, which feed last. They growl, they snap, they fight. It's all about body language. They're really, really quite frightening to watch them. If they don't eat, one of the other wolves are going to come in and they're going to eat their food. Wolves often bolt all their food as quickly as possible without chewing, and then they go and throw it up later on and re-chew it when the other wolves are around. Wolves are naturally aggressive round food. In the wild, it's life or death. If they don't get that food, they starve and they die. So when there have been fatalities and there have been problems between humans and wolves, it's always, almost every time, food related. Just to finish up, going back to the kicking, I myself would never kick a wolf. I don't condone it, I don't agree with it. What I don't agree with is people not fully understanding the situation. If you were not in that situation yourself, I don't think you could truly know the way that you might behave. And if there's a wolf that looks like it's twice your weight coming at you with massive crushing teeth with a power of 1,500 pounds per square inch, you might think twice. One thing is clear though, the woman acted fast, she was efficient, and she stopped the situation escalating. That is the main thing. She's confident, she's a confident alpha keeper, and hopefully the wolves will respect her for that. And just to alliterate, do not ever, 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 ever take food into a wolf enclosure when you're visiting a pack of tame wolves. It is so dangerous. They go right through the bottom of your pocket to get to the sweets or the food or whatever you've got. They never go through the top. They'll rip out the bottom of your pockets, and that would mean tearing your clothing and probably pulling you over, as you could see in the video. Another thing which sets them off is leather. Don't wear leather when you go in with wolves, and please don't wear animal fur. They can smell it, they can smell the animal, it's organic, and it gets them excited and they want to eat it or play with it. Now, if you're really interested in finding out more about wolf behaviour, then one of the world's most incredible wolf biologists and experts is of course David Mech. And one of the books I would like to suggest for you to read is Wolves, Ecology and Behaviour. Hello Valdez, he's going to recommend it too for you. But if you're interested in that book, I've put a link at the bottom of my page. You can click through and you can purchase one of those books. I've also put another very, very good David Mech book there for you to have a look about conservation of endangered species. His books are amazing. It's how I've learned everything I know about wolf conservation that isn't practical. So for those countries and places that I can't personally get out to, I read all of David Mech's biology books, and they're fantastic. They give me all the tools I need to understand the mentality and physicality of wolves. I hope you enjoyed my video, and I would be really interested in your feedback about this situation. Let me know what you think. Do you think the woman should have kicked the wolf? Do you think she was right in what she did? Do you think she should have just used her body weight? Do any of you know the woman in the video, and do you have the full story? Are any of you wolf keepers out there? Are any of you wolf dog handlers? What would you have done in that situation? Do you think that was a dangerous situation, or do you think if that wolf was left, he would have just left that man alone? I don't think that would have been the case. Anyway, if you're enjoying my wolf videos, please subscribe to my channel and give me a big like, and send me your questions. What would you like me to cover in my next videos? I'm happy to cover all sorts of topics, and I travel around all over the place with my cameraman these days. So if you've got any wolf sanctuaries you'd like me to visit, or go and meet any people with high content wolf dogs, then I'm happy to do that. Bye for now.